minor keys are very important in Jewish music, but there's an even bigger distinction that I will get to. So very briefly, because I know a lot of you have been with me the last couple of classes where I talked about minor keys. In a lot of music, we sort of associate them with the sadder things, but they are very Jewish. Right, a minor chord as opposed to a major chord. Okay, so the song that I'm going to use to demonstrate some of these Jewish characteristics is Omar Sharif from the band's Visit, a very, very Jewish show, right from the orchestration, which is essentially a klezmer band. And then this song has every minor key that we most commonly see, or minor mode, apologies, that we most commonly see in Jewish music. And I can show you exactly how a small change would make this instantly less Jewish.
The Broadway Maven's Jewish Broadway class continues March 15th with Barbra Streisand's musicals and March 22nd with Fiddler on the Roof. Go to thebroadwaymaven.com to sign up.
So I'm going to just show you a bit of the beginning of the song first so you get a feel for what we're going for, and then I'll explain what's happening. So right from the beginning, we're minor. Kulthum and Omar Sharif came floating on a jasmine wind from the west, from the south, honey in my ear, spice in my mouth. That's the most Jewish line in the whole song, and let me tell you why. So this I'm going to break out my trusty whiteboard to help you here. This song is in the key of B minor. So these notes right here are the note of our B minor scale. We call this a natural minor scale. Okay. So we start the song using only those notes. And this is a pretty common minor scale used all over the place. But we have different versions of this minor scale. And one that is commonly seen in Jewish music has one note different from the one I just showed you. And I will play that as well. Let me show you the difference. We have, so all of the same notes except the second last one. We have an A sharp, so that's called a harmonic minor scale. And we get that in this song as well. Where do we see that? Let me find it. Over on this line here. Kulthum and Omar Sharif. It's right there. Kulthum instead of Kulthum and Omar Sharif. All right, but there is a scale that is actually called the Jewish scale. Its official term in technical terms is called the Phrygian dominant mode, but it has become synonymous with Jewish music. And so it is called the Jewish scale. The reason that it is so synonymous with Jewish music is actually because it comes from Jewish liturgy. It is the scale used for the Ahava Rabbah blessing, and I hope I've said that properly. I've done my best here. So that scale, I will show you what it sounds like. Nope, I've written that down wrong. It is, one moment. It has the most important note as far as creating that Jewish sound. And you will see, here's the difference between the first two and the one I've just shown you. So instead of that C sharp, right, we have a C natural. So it sounds like this. that interval, we call that a flat 2, okay? Instead of do, re, mi, fa, so, do, ra, mi, fa, so. And this is actually the scale that was used when David asked me if that was minor with the fiddle at the beginning. It had this flat 2. And we hear that right here. Honey in my ears. If I change that to a typical major scale, honey in my ears, 100% less Jewish by changing one note. Honey in my ears, honey in my ears, spice in my mouth, right? We have that appear through this song many, many times. I'll show you another one. So we have, and they floated in on a jasmine wind, Kulthum and Omar Sharif. Instead of that, if I change that one note, Kulthum and Omar Sharif, it does not sound Jewish at all. Omar Sharif versus Omar Sharif. So that flat 2 is the note that does it. And we hear it all the way through this song again. My mother and I would sit there in a trance. It was cool to the marrow, the pharaoh of romance. It's the note that makes the difference. Sunday morning, cool tune. Right? Her voice would fill our living room. The ship from Egypt always came sailing in on radio waves. Again, if I change that one note, sailing in on radio waves, it shifts it. I'm being asked questions. So no, the mode for the Ahava Rabbah, that's where the name, this mode is actually called the Ahava mode because that's where it comes from. Sorry, I played it right on the way up and wrong on the way down. At least that is what my research turned up. I'm open to being proved wrong, but when I was looking this up, my research said that that's actually where it comes from. So it is that one note. Well, it is also Egyptian. It's not just used in Jewish music, like I said. It's also used in Spanish music and a lot of Middle Eastern music, but it is specifically referred to as the Jewish scale because it comes from that particular liturgical blessing, and that's where it's used. So that is, that's your Jewish scale. And that makes a huge difference, like I said. Right? Yeah, it's very Middle Eastern, but that is the Jewish scale. And it is demonstrated not just in Omar Sharif, it is demonstrated throughout the band's visit. But this one has a very simple, clear melody that brings that out. From the west, from the south, honey in my ear, spice in my mouth. So there is a quick introduction to the minor modes and specifically the Jewish scale. So as you're listening to things in the next few weeks, keep an ear out, and I'll try to point it out in the next few weeks when I'm here with you as well. If you hear that flat 2, that makes the difference. It's that note. Hold on, let me get up my trusty whiteboard again. It's that C versus C sharp that makes the difference on the second note. So that's what I've got for you today.
The Broadway Maven's Weekly Blast comes out every Thursday. It contains essays, reviews, YouTube gems, surveys, and more. Please like and subscribe. And here's a Piano Talks playlist.